this morning with the late starts, but put the ball in the right area, and it wasn't sort of the wind we usually expect here in Wellington, and got a little bit of shape and sort of created opportunities. So a fantastic effort, a really special effort with the ball, and some really handy contributions with the bat as well. So a really good all-round performance.
And is that, given Australia and the fact that India works on one side, is that one of the more satisfying things for you as captain?
Yeah, I think just from, in some ways, parking some of the previous experiences and trying to just come back to what's really important to us, playing good cricket here, and that's always the challenge. I think we know that this game is an interesting one, and you certainly have good days and bad days, but guys came back into the whites with the red ball, and were really focused on the areas that were important to moving this team forward, and that was the most pleasing thing about this performance. But the challenge is there in front of us, and we know that come Christchurch we'll have to be on our game again, because India are obviously number one in the world for a reason, and they've had success all around the world. So a really brilliant all-round game for us, but a good step in the right direction as well. So important that we enjoy this, but also move our focus to Christchurch.
Do you have any doubts yourself after that and building into the series?
Doubts as in
your own you've obviously done well at home, but bouncing back from that experience essentially.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, bouncing back probably isn't a term that we use, or it isn't a term that we use within our group. It's just, I suppose it's stripping things back a little bit, because you can get a little bit carried away. When you're thinking about the results and you have a number of poor ones, sometimes the want for a good one can be the distraction to getting it. So it's kind of focusing on the areas that are important, the roles, the plans that give us the best chance of success, and if we do that, then the result sort of manifests. And I think that's what we saw in this game, which was really pleasing. Guys were really committed to their roles, like I say, on a surface that did offer enough to create a really good balance between bat and ball, and it's a really important lesson, I suppose, to move forward with coming Christchurch in a few days. So anytime you play India, it's always a tough challenge, and we know it will be again in a few days' time.
Tim, congratulations. Is that the most fun you've had on day 3, day 4 of the facing reserve test?
It was a lot more fun than day 4 against Sri Lanka. But yeah, it was, as Kane alluded to, it wasn't your typical strong wind you're used to in Wellington. It was quite still. The sun was out, and we were able to get the ball to move, and put the balls in the right areas for the whole morning, really, and we were able to get the rewards.
Both you, Kane, this whole short ball strategy to defend and put batsmen under pressure used to be only a Neil Wagner thing. Now it seems to be a trademark of this team. So can you just explain the mindset and the approach, how you guys go about it, and Tim, about executing it?
Well, to be honest, I actually didn't think it was overly effective out here, and it wasn't until we changed back to our initial plan of trying to put the ball in the right area, whilst using the change of length as the wicket improved a little bit from a batting perspective, was actually when we were creating more opportunities. So we tried doing things a little bit differently, but like I say, the best part of the bowling performance was the ability to put the ball in an area that creates the most opportunity for dismissals, which brings in LBW bowl caught behind, which we saw again today with the use of the change of length to assist that. So naturally you're always trying to come up with creative ideas if the wicket does flatten out, but like Tim mentioned, and as we saw throughout this whole match, there was enough there to keep you interested, and there wasn't as much wind as we're used to, so the ball was able to perhaps straighten and make things a little bit challenging. So yeah, I think it was in a lot of ways really pleasing with the execution in a good area that was the most effective part of the bowling performance.
Just also executing.
Do you agree?
Yeah, what Kane said. Obviously Neil's a great exponent of it and has been for a long period of time. And I guess it's about trying things, as Kane said, when the game's sort of sitting in the balance and sort of not a lot's happening. It's been about, as a bowling unit, buying into what the team needs at the time and being willing to try things and looking at ways to try and, I guess, either break the momentum of the batting side or trying to pick up a wicket so you can go back to your role and doing what we do very well.
I mean,
really choke them well.
You're always trying to execute a plan, and those sort of change throughout an innings. And the bowlers were superb in putting the ball in a challenging that allowed you to perhaps put fielders in areas that would maybe create something. And it's always nice if it gets hit to a guy and you get a wicket. Doesn't always happen. But yeah, the guys had to get a little bit creative when the ball got a bit soft yesterday. It was quite tough to sometimes create those opportunities, and you didn't get the feeling there was going to be a nick behind unless you maybe tried to do something a little bit different. It's always in conversation with the bowlers at the top of the mark and how we might try and skin it. But it was great that the bowlers were able to adapt quickly from the first innings to the second and try and hit a slightly different area to still be demanding.
Did you as a captain always feel that Indian batter's going to make that mistake as a captain? Do you feel that when a team's bowling, when you're bowling so well?
Yeah, I mean, when you are bowling well and trying to build pressure, that's sort of the idea. Not for a specific team, just for any team really. And we knew that on this wicket, because there was some assistance throughout the whole game, that if you could put the ball in the right area for long periods, then you're most likely to perhaps create an opportunity at some point in time, whether it goes to hand or not. That's sort of the game that you play, and you're prepared to play it for long periods of time, and that's what the bowlers did and did superbly well.
Ask about Barry.
Tim, Virat made a little bit about the New Zealand bowlers, used to playing at the batsman reserve and that sort of thing. Did you think home field advantage was significant out here at all, or not taking anything, or perhaps taking something away from the bowling unit?
I think it's obvious when you're playing in conditions that you're used to and you've played a lot of cricket at, it's a little bit more comfortable, I guess, when some of the Indian guys are coming from conditions that are foreign to them. So it's for us, it's coming back to conditions and grounds that we've played some very good cricket at over a number of years now. So I guess the guys sort of know what to expect when you turn up to the Basin and Hagley, which I guess goes all around the world. You turn up in home conditions, you should have more of an understanding than the opposition.
Kane, having Kyle's performance here, and I'm assuming Neil's return, you've obviously got some good options to think about for Hagley.
Yeah, Kyle was brilliant in his debut, and I think we've seen in the white ball format as well, where his ability to contribute in so many different areas, and obviously that slight unique part to his game where he's coming from a different height and creating quite a lot of bounce, and no doubt Neil will be pretty excited to get back with the team as well. So it's been really handy. Obviously Matt Henry with us as well, who's been a really good performer for the team. So I suppose when you reflect back from the last few weeks where we had so many fast bowlers with injury, it's great that they're all kind of fit coming back into the fold, and you sort of feel like there is that element of depth to that fast bowling, which we always thought we had until we had about 4 or 5 injuries.
Vincent in the finish the match.
Tim, you probably got the ball to sort of move around in both innings more than anyone else, and particularly the Indian bowlers. Today you said it was a little stiller, so it helped you swing the ball and stuff. But even otherwise, coming here, is there something you do, some sort of adjustment you make to keep getting the ball to move despite the unique conditions and stuff?
I guess being a swing bowler helps. It's a skill that, I guess being a swing bowler, being able to swing the ball is always handy. And there's although it's sort of the wind is always kind of assisting Trent and I with the over his left shoulder and my right shoulder. So as I say, when it tends to be a little bit still here in Wellington, it does move around a little bit more. But yeah, it's just as Kane said, putting the balls in the right areas for long periods of time, and we're able to get a little bit of assistance with the swing.
Kane, everybody's talking about the bowling, but how important was that taking huge first inning lead? Because even though you batted so beautifully, it was 7 for 225.
Yeah, it was challenging throughout, and you always expect that against an ending bowling attack that they have, which is a superb fast bowling attack. So we knew it was going to be a challenge, and we wanted to try and create partnerships throughout on a surface that you never sort of felt like you were in terms of previously coming to the basin, where it'd be a day and a half, and then the wicket would become quite docile and very batter friendly. So like I say, it was a good balance between bat and ball, but the middle lower order partnerships were really, really important to get that sort of 150-ish lead. Actually, it was more than that. We sort of had 150 in mind, and then Trent played a nice cameo, which was very helpful. But all those lower order runs, and we've seen it on a number of occasions from all different teams, how important they can be, and obviously without those and having to chase perhaps something similar in the last innings, obviously would have been something quite challenging. So really important.
Indeed, bring us on.
How does it, and also I guess some tough times in the T20s, would that steer you for a good performance out here?
No, I guess you just, every time you take the field, you're trying to do your role and trying to do your job for the team. You want to play as much as you can. Chopping and changing formats is the way the international cricket's going. If you play all three formats, you've got to learn to, I guess, park one format and move on to the other one. Love playing Test cricket, and it's nice to be back out there with the guys. And I guess it's about looking forward rather than looking back, and being able to move on from previous experiences. And just like this one, we'll enjoy tonight, and then our focus will now shift to Christchurch. So it's continuing to learn as a cricketer, and enjoying every opportunity that you get.
The box and limo all the way.
Hopefully BJ's done that.
Cool, thanks very much.
Cheers.